the battery stuff.
Oh, right. Oh, like
I'm not gonna really be here either. Don't worry.
But now we're running.
Running?
Sorry.
We are on. Let me just unmute us.
All right. All right, so welcome everyone. I guess we'll just wait for a few minutes for people to come in. But yeah, welcome to the Master Pro unboxing. I'm super hyped for this wheel. I'm Nick with EUCO. We haven't met yet. Unfortunately, Law's not able to be here today. But I'm just super excited for this wheel. This is basically a one-wheel motorcycle, which is what I've been asking for years. So we'll see. We'll see if it lives up to the hype.
Squeezing. Yep. I'm just trying to get to our comments.
Get these straps off.
It's supposed to match my color for birthday party.
Oh, no way. That looks pretty cool, actually.
All right. How long do we usually wait till we get started? Do you know?
A few minutes, couple minutes.
2 minutes?
10-ish minutes.
All right, a few more minutes. If you have any questions that you'd like me to answer during the unboxing, feel free to ask them. Keep them in mind.
Wait, hold on. Are we not live? Alright, let's hit that one. Yeah.
Can you see any chats?
Because normally I can see the chat. Hold on.
If you can see me, put 1 in the chat.
Okay, we got the chat going.
Got the chat?
There, that's my face. Holy shit, what's going on?
You know, somehow after all these unboxings,
Still
we still have a we have a different setup for every one, so there's always something to figure out. It has its pros and cons.
Well, one person asked already, what version are you opening?
Yeah,
And everyone else is answering
It
already.
is right now, yeah.
no, there's no count.
Oh, it is.
What version are we opening? I don't. Well, it's possible there's already 2 Master Pro versions because I asked Begode why there was new firmware, and apparently they said something about needing to change the control board position. But I think this is the 1st gen Master Pro. I don't think they've made any major changes yet. But yeah, I think it's the gen one. We tried to get these over as fast as we could. So. All right. Let's see. When did we start? It's been about 5 minutes.
Got YouTube.
A couple more minutes.
Up and running. Instagram.
Yeah, go for it.
Instagram is live and you're directly in the shot.
Nice.
Look at that.
Oh, sweet. Good job, camera person. No, good job, Allie. Our camera person should be named. Allie is our camera person. She does a great job.
Hello, thank you. All right, we're good on both.
Good on everything?
Yeah, we got 11 over on Instagram, and then we have at least 4 on YouTube. So
All right.
if you want to start, what's in the
Well,
box?
I know there's already a lot of content out on the Master Pro or the Master Pro already. So thanks for being here with us for this. I know it's a little bit late compared to some other distributors, but we are super psyched for this. So, without any further ado, I guess we'll get started. Tape off. So, just as a warning, I did try and weigh this beforehand, and our scale maxed this out at 110 pounds, and it overloaded the scale. So, we'll take a look at the spec sheet that I'm sure is included to see what the actual weight is. Alright, so I'll try and tilt it so y'all can see. But on top we've got a couple things. So we've got the spec sheet for Master Pro. Looks like the net weight is 53.5 kilos, so that's what, like 115-ish pounds, something like that. Really heavy. You've seen all this information already. Free spin speed 122. So on the V1 firmware, the free spin speed is 116 kilometers. On the V2 firmware, it's 122, but I inspected the firmware, and it's actually just a speed multiplier change. So I'd say the real free spin speed is closer to 116 or below that. We've got the certificate of compliance, very official. We've got, let's see what else we got. We've got the mud guard. So the mud guard comes separate, probably to avoid it cracking in the box. It's the plastic it's made out of. We've got, oh, so I like this pump. So we've got the suspension pump, but it's also a tire pump because there's a little dial down here that says HP and HV for high pressure and high volume. So it doubles as a suspension pump and a tire pump. I really like this pump, and it's got the little lever for engagement. So good job, Begode, on pump choice. Just put this stuff up to the side. We've got 2 Allen keys. This 5, I'm assuming, is for adjusting the pedal angle, and this 3, is it? Is for adjusting something else. There's lots of 3mm socket screws on these, so I'll put these off to the side for now. Oh, you know what? It's probably for putting the mud guard on. We've got the charger box. Let's see. I'm expecting just a regular 3 amp. Yep. We've got 134.4 volt at 3 amp. So even though it's still a 3 amp charger, it's actually going to be putting out more power than a 3 amp 100 volt charger just due to the way wattage works. It looks like they gave up and started sending American style and European style plugs in the box. So, hey, I mean, it makes it easier. Alright, put the charger off to the side. Top foam off. Something like that. Okay, this is the part I was not really looking forward to. Well, I can postpone that for a bit longer. So we've got the side pads in the box. This is the right main pad. You've got front pad, back pad, and I'm assuming this is some kind of a jump pad. Put that right there. Oh, we've got the pads that go sort of around the pedal area just for like shell protection. These don't really do much. And I'm assuming we've got the mirrored version, which we do.
Oh, you hold down the movie.
Okay, no more excuses. Time to take this thing out the box. Oh, we got there eventually. Oh, thank you. My helper Andy is here.
EUCO guy.
EUCO guy. Andy is very handy. Handy Andy. Alright. Really heavy. I probably shouldn't be lifting it by this plastic handle because it's probably going to break. But it arrived in transport mode.
Our scale doesn't even read. It's so heavy. Our scale doesn't even read the weight. It says overload.
Yep, I discussed that. Alright, so that looks pretty decent. It looks like it's just 3 of those strips used on the Master behind some dark plastic. Kickstand. So because this wheel's so heavy, it needs a crazy kickstand in the back. Let's test it. Well, kickstand's not amazing. I just gave it a light tap there, but if you give it a really light tap, it's not bad. Now I'll keep my footies to myself. Trolley handle height. Well, actually I should probably pump the suspension up first to see the true height. I've seen that the pedals on this thing are really high, so I'm interested to try that. Let's get out of transport mode first. I'm also noticing the same display as the Master right here, nice and bright. Got the same two buttons. I'm pretty sure the trolley handle is the exact same as well. We've got the same headlight as on the T4, which I really like. It's basically the Master headlight. They've started putting on the Master as well. The V1 Master, which I own, did not have these lenses right here, these sort of curved out lenses, so the light pattern was really kind of bad. But I actually think the T4 headlamp and now the Master headlamp and now the Master Pro headlamp is very usable. So we've got that there, 22-inch tire, just like on the Monster V3. Plastic on the batteries, just like we've seen from recent Begode wheels. Not a whole ton of features on this wheel. We've got the Begode, I'm assuming die-cast, not CNC, hex pedals on here. Either way, they're still really comfortable. I like them. Alright, so let's pump up the suspension. If you have any questions for me, you'd like me to take a look at, let me know. We can take a look at roll angles, we can take a look at lift speed. Lift speed's probably not going to be super great right now because it's at 50% charge, but we can still take a look. So while I wait for that, let me just get the suspension going so we can get a pedal height comparison between some other wheels, which is going to be crazy.
We have one question.
Yeah, bring it.
This thing self-balance, question mark?
It does self-balance. That is how the technology works. It will self-balance forwards and backwards, but it will not balance left and right. Riding one of these things is basically just like riding a bike. The faster you go, the more stable it is.
One person asks, can you turn on the light?
Yes, I will turn on the lights. It'll probably blow out the camera, but we can give it a shot. If it's anything like the T4, it's going to be pretty bright. It is not going to sort of shade off the top portion like on the V11, so it is probably going to blind people you're coming towards, but nothing new for Begode. Just putting the mudguard in right now also.
What tire comes stock?
The stock tire is the same as the Monster, the Begode Monster. So 2.75-17 is the size. Let's see, what is this tire called? It's a CST tire, Changshin tire, C117-86. So that's the name of the tire, but it's the same tire that comes stock on the Monster V3. Good question.
You should show you.
Scooter or unicycle?
This is a unicycle. Later. This is a unicycle, so it only has one wheel. It self-balances. Beautiful. Plenty of videos there about what an EUC is on our channel. Just get the suspension pump off, pump it up. Oh, don't want to be dropping knives. Do as I say, not as I do. All right. I'm going to take off the safety sticker that says be careful in a lot of different ways, I'm assuming. I get the suspension pumped up, so I'll switch it to high pressure mode. So on the Master, I usually do I weigh about 180 pounds riding. So on the Master, I usually do about 260, 270 PSI. I'll probably go a bit higher, maybe like 280, 290 PSI, just because of the added wheel weight. But I know that the suspension linkage system is very similar to the Master's.
Wheelie Dope says, is the shock the same as the Master?
Yes, so the shock is the same Begode shock that's been used on the Master and the T4. I think the Hero as well. It's just the generic Begode shock. Let me actually open this kickstand. Yeah, I got more room now. And I will pull the tire out. Nope, never mind, that's not happening. Screw the pump on. This is normally the part we would fast forward if we were doing a video, because it takes quite a while to get up to the max pressure of this pump. But it serves as perfect question time, so keep those questions coming.
Tucos81 asks, which is better for you, a scooter or a unicycle?
Well, I'm going to be biased because I work at an electric unicycle dealer. But I'm going to say unicycle. I've ridden plenty of electric scooters before, and they can be a lot of fun. What I like about riding an electric scooter is the feeling of it just sort of taking you forward as fast as it can, and you're sort of along for the ride, right? Whereas with EUC, you don't get that sort of acceleration feeling because you are forcing it to accelerate. So the EUC is kind of an extension of your body. You don't really get that with the scooter, but with the scooter, you do get that feeling of being on a roller coaster that's rocketing forwards. They both have their pros and cons, but just due to the power and capability to size ratio, I prefer EUC.
Pink Flash asks, is it significantly heavier than the Master?
Well, I have a Master over there, so let's do a weight comparison. Thank you for asking. I'm going to say yes, because the Master is about 80 pounds, and this is over 110, so it's probably going to be a pretty significant difference. I'd say this wheel is, well, this is literally the heaviest wheel available right now, because it's got the longest range, the most powerful motor.
Wheelie Dope wants to know what type of shoes you like to ride in.
So, I have not gotten on the riding shoes meta. I saw those EUC shoes online. They kind of just look like shoes, if I'm being honest. Let's see, what shoes do I got? Some
I use
Nike,
Nikes.
just generic Nike shoes. I don't know
If
the
you
model.
want, you can use Dainese motorcycle shoes.
Oh yeah.
So these are supposed to be slip resistant to oil a little bit, a tiny bit or something. I don't know.
Tabby Green asks, is it bigger than the Monster Pro? Definitely.
Oh yeah. So the
Compare it right here.
Yeah, let's compare.
Right here.
So,
He's pumping it
so
up.
the tire is going to be smaller, but this is absolutely probably going to
Yes.
be taller. All right, there we go.
Does Ustride?
This is my Monster Pro, comparing it to the Master Pro
All
when he
right.
gets it up. What was the question? Sorry.
Ustride asks, does it have a waterproof rating?
No, like as with all Begode wheels. Hey, you Stride, what's up?
Hey, I watch your videos, you Stride.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you here. I don't think it has an official rating from Begode. I can check the spec sheet, but they've been improving their waterproofing over the years. They're trying. They're still not there, but they really have been trying.
They've siliconed the battery casing quite a bit. I actually took apart one of the battery cases and
Yeah, there's a lot more silicone. There's a lot
It's-
more O-rings and seals. It's
Yeah.
definitely better from the Begode of.
they actually
2 years
use
ago.
O-rings for a lot of the screws on the top as well for a change, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nothing about weatherproofing on the spec sheet.
Alright, get it up. There.
All right.
Still, I want to get it up.
I have no trouble getting it up, Andy.
So side by side.
Oh
Look
wow.
how much taller. Well, I mean, let's take the seat off and it looks like that, I guess.
This one's got the seat built in.
Yep.
Compare the trolley height.
Wow.
Actually,
Similar. It's a little shorter, but well, we could show the pedal height difference too. Just step on the
Oh,
pedal,
yeah.
and this is what the pedal looks like on this one, quite low.
Oh, so there's actually adjustable pedal height on this. So I see it's in the middle setting right now. It could go one lower or one higher. Jeez, I couldn't imagine wanting to make this higher. Oh my gosh.
And this one has to go
I'm gonna go get a master real
all the
quick.
way up here. It's like my leg is basically almost at a 90-degree angle at this point.
I don't think the
So,
neck will capture you, Andy.
it-
The neck's on my neck.
Ustride asks again, is the waterproofing at least as good as the MSPs and Monsters?
I would say so.
I would say slightly better.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
say
say a little bit
slightly
better.
better.
You can always check out the Eco Drift teardowns if you're interested in those. They got some really good stuff. So here we got a Master. Well, first let's check the pedal height because the pedals are really high on the Master.
Yes, they are. But still, you can actually clear it. That's crazy.
So the Master Pro is
It's-
still at least one pedal taller.
And you can actually go even higher on the Master Pro if you wanted.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But this is a tall wheel, so you might need that height.
So, yeah, just side by side though, it definitely is. Alright, and yeah, it's a pretty solid wheel. It's kind of more gyroscopy than the Master since it has a bigger tire, but I think you can get used to it. I'm excited to get used to mine.
Oh yeah, he's already got a Master Pro.
I haven't ridden it yet, but I just got it.
Right.
So yeah, this guy's been riding it for a week now, so he actually has a review, opinion.
Yep.
I sure do.
Alright, so there's not really a whole lot to comment on with this wheel. There's not a whole lot of features. The features are big and fast. That's the point of this wheel. 4.8 kilowatt hour battery. That's insane. Monster Pro is only 3.6 kilowatt hour. So that's the same size as the Master X, which is the same as the Master Pro. I confirmed with Begode that the Master X is just using less cells. It's not using a lower capacity cell, just less cells.
How many capacitors are there? Ustride actually asked.
How many capacitors are there? From the pictures I've seen, there's 2 ginormous ones on the control board. They are freaking huge. But yeah, I think it's gonna be okay with these 2 big ones.
Really dope. Ask, will you keep the stock pads or swap them out?
I will probably definitely swap them out because the angles are not great. I'll give them some credit. They did put some thought into it because just by the way that the frame works.
Do you want to show this one? Just looking at it.
Yeah, you could do that. I was gonna put the pads on, but we
You
also.
can't. You want to just put it on?
Oh, that's okay. Then we have to take the batteries. So
Yeah, okay.
if you want to really remove all this clear crap from the batteries,
Yeah.
you have to sort of take them off the wheel. So there's 3 screws, top and bottom, that hold each battery in place.
Very easy though.
It is pretty easy.
Wait, it's wrapped around the whole.
Yeah, it's wrapped around the whole thing
But
to the
yeah.
back too.
So through the magic of having 2 of them,
You can fit. You can. Alright. So this is what I just purchased, and this has the pads on it, and the jump pad is horrible. It's garbage. I don't like the power pad. The brake pad is not bad, but it's too sharp of an like. I don't personally like it, and I don't think Nick does either. But I'll let him take it away.
yes, I will take it away. This is mine now.
No, that's mine.
But yeah, so here's the stock pad setup. Looks like there's no
I
adhesive
took that
right
off.
here.
Each drive
took
has
off
another
there.
question.
Yeah, shoot.
Is the battery casing more durable than the Master? You need to come to our streams
No.
more often with these questions. I love it.
The answer is no. It's the exact same thin plastic as on the Master. I definitely recommend if you keep the stock pads. What I'm probably going to do for mine is what I did for the Master, where you just put a piece of puzzle piece foam, like those yoga mats that they use for gyms, fill out this space right here, put Velcro all over it, then put your side pads on. I'll probably just end up cutting off this right here, cutting that off, but I'm still going to keep this pad on here for protection.
Mike asks, max charge amps.
Max charge amps. So that's a good question. Max charge amps is going to be pretty high. I don't think there's an official spec from Begode that I've asked about yet, but it's double whatever the Master is. So I noticed that in disassembling the Master there was a 15 amp fuse. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm going to say 15 amps. Because when I was disassembling the Master, I noticed that there was a 15 amp fuse on the charge board. I don't know if any of you have seen the Master tear down pictures or videos, but there is a little subboard whose sole purpose is to accept a charge from the charge port and combine all the batteries together into one output for the control board. And on that board, I see a 15 amp fuse where the charge ports are. So I'm going to say, unless you swap that fuse out, there is another set of pads on the PCB for a second fuse. So I don't know how safe that is. If you wanted to add a second 15 amp fuse, it's surface mount. A second surface mount 15 amp fuse for 30 amp charging. But I probably won't be charging my wheel above maybe 12 amps. Because that's like charging the Master at 6 amps. Well, I've charged the Master at 8 amps before. So I guess you could go to 16 amps. A lot of amps. You'll probably blow a breaker if you try and charge this thing at the max capacity the batteries can take. But quite high. The answer is quite high. Quite a lot of amps.
So Howard says, does it ship with the latest firmware update, or do you have to update it?
That's a good question. So because this one has a blue taillight, I know it has a later firmware. I've seen some earlier models where when you turn it on, this is just red. So Begode is putting out new firmwares all the time. I am honestly not even sure if they test their own firmware. They kind of just put stuff on the app. So I'm going to tell you guys what Begode told me, which is to avoid updating unless there's an issue with your wheel that you're looking to solve. If there is a big feature that you hear is in one of the later updates, or one of the most recent updates, then yeah, you can update. But I would say just keep it on the stock firmware, unless you like some other firmware. What other firmware is there? There's only what's in the app. Alright, so it's time to ride it. This one doesn't have any adhesive on the back, but I can still probably get a good feel for it.
I'm gonna replace this.
Okay, so the brake pad feels like it's in an okay spot. The front pad is very sharp, and I feel like it's going to hurt when I use it. So because this wheel is so heavy, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do pendulums on it. Oh, actually, did we pump the tire? Oh, this isn't the demo unit, this is another unit. So the tire is pumped up.
No,
Oh,
no,
man.
it's not.
No, there's no shot this is going to fit in the frame. Normally we like to do ride
Needs gear.
tests. Ugh. Brake pads feel okay. Acceleration pads definitely hurt the shins. If I was going to keep them, I'd probably cut it, maybe right here to increase the angle. So about-
Mr. Sosa, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah, sure.
says, what's the speed difference between the Master Pro versus the Master quotation mark X?
So it's the same wheel. I don't know if you'll be able to actually reach the same speeds though, just due to voltage sag. So literally the only difference between the Master Pro and the Master X is battery capacity and firmware. It's the same board, same cells, same design, same motor, same everything else. Literally just the firmware and the batteries. So just like how you're able to go faster on the high discharge Master than you can on the regular one, despite the lower capacity, because the high discharge cells.
Sorry.
I totally lost my train of thought. Basically,
Cells.
you'll be able to go a little bit faster on the Pro than the X because the voltage sag will be a little bit lower, but it should be pretty negligible because these batteries are both so huge. Maybe that's a test we'll do, Master Pro versus Master X. It'd probably be a pretty short video. Battery's smaller. It goes a little slower. The end. But it would be nice to know how much slower it goes. Good question.
Ustride says, thanks a ton, guys.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you here. Alright, I know this is sort of a less exciting unboxing than usual, but I don't know if I can really do much riding in front of the camera, honestly. It takes so much effort to get this thing going and stopping.
I mean, I could move the camera outside too.
You want to go outside?
We could. We taken it
Wi-Fi?
outside before?
It's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We're cordless.
Alright.
No,
you wanna-
but we can't go to the, like, we have to stay in the front.
Oh, we have to stay in the
Yeah.
front, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our
Alright.
side Adventure says that old V11 looks dirtier than mine.
That's funny. It's a rental.
That's a good one.
That was funny though.
Oh man. Alright, so I guess we can get some riding impressions if we take it outside. We might pick you guys up a little bit and take you to the front door. Please excuse the mess. There's a ton of stuff going on at HQ right now. So, alright, what say we
Want to pump it up first?
do that?
It needs a pump.
Does this need a pump?
It needs a
Yeah,
pump.
it
Needs a pump?
Oh, it needs a pump.
Because I didn't start actually writing it yet. So I didn't
Maybe
know.
that's why it's so hard for me to ride right now, because this pump's so low.
Yeah.
So while I get started on this, our amazing camera crew will move the camera.
Alrighty. Go
Or
ahead and
not,
pump
it's up
it.
to them. They have their own lives too, so.
Well, it's not. It's just one. She.
Oh, you know what?
Camera lady.
Okay, well never mind. I thought they were both doing it. Just Allie.
It's just that.
Roll angle. So something that we always want to know during these unboxings is roll angle. So let me put it in lift mode and get my app.
Oh.
My phone's over here.
Is streaming to my tablet, which is sending the information to the laptop.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, and just like the other recent Begode wheels, like the Master and T4, I'm assuming this one is going to have the Pwm Adjustment Feature, which lets you change the motor load percent at which it will beep at you. So you can select between 50 and 90 at 5% increments. I keep mine at 84 using a special website made by Freestyler, great guy. But you can only select between 80 and 85 in the Begode app. So if you want to select between 80 and 85, which I recommend because 85 might be a bit too high, use EUC Dash by Freestyler. Alright, so connected right here. And yeah, we do have power alarm. I know you probably can't see. So let's check, let's set to the highest allowed tilt angle. And I imagine it's going to be a pretty severe angle because this is such a high wheel, you need to be able to carve more. So let's check it.
So instead of using
Oh, I know someone asked about the light earlier. Here's the light. It does have an adjustable angle. Well, it's a bit tight right now, but it does have an adjustable angle, just like the T4 and the Master. So you can either actively choose to blind everyone, or actively choose to blind everyone a little bit less. This headlight is really powerful though, which I really like about it. Alright, tilt angle. Let's go. So I'm going to tilt it that way.
You want to get on that RS and follow it? Or
This wheel is really heavy.
And you could just
I
stay.
think we are getting pretty deep now. I'd be a little concerned about the got weight dance happening. It's already starting. That's really deep. And it just shut off, wow.
Holy crap.
So this is what you get with the high setting on the pedal angle.
I don't see anyone doing that.
Yeah.
Unless they're, you know, in a high-speed chase and you do the slide under the truck.
Yeah. So unless you decide to slide your wheel under a truck like a spy, or go to a skate park with your 120-pound wheel, I would probably keep the angle to low or medium, just because the higher your tilt angle, the more potential there is for the Galway dance, which is what happens when you have too high of a tilt angle. Your wheel falls over, and then it keeps spinning the motor on the ground and just basically does a dance and destroys itself. But it sounds a lot nicer when you call it a dance. Just to compare, let's check the low setting. I imagine it's probably going to be similar to the medium or high settings on other wheels. So let's check it. Okay, so low setting is pretty low. So maybe I'd stick with medium on this one.
Just for comparison's sake, how tall are you?
I am 6'1". So standing next to me here,
Next to it, Ali.
Huh?
I honestly don't know if I even need this much height. This might even be enough. This is Ali.
Hi,
Person.
I'm 5'2".
So this is the
and
wheel next to us.
Goes up to her hip.
this
Goes
is
up
too
to
much.
it.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, you can have that.
So
There you
something
go.
I immediately noticed when I started riding is that this is really high. Like it almost feels like you have to sort of prepare for when you're gonna get up onto it, and definitely remember to flip the pedal down. There's a lot of suspension travel. I feel like there might be a little bit more travel than on the Master, 'cause that is quite a lot. All right. We still haven't gone outside yet, so I'll take this opportunity to pump up the tire, and then we can get some impressions, and then I think we can wrap this thing up. All right, so I'm gonna do that now. Any questions? Definitely just ask, and I will do my best to answer. I'm gonna go to, I'll go to 37 PSI. I feel like 40 might be a bit too, might be a bit weird. Almost there. All right, we are ready to roll.
Let me show you.
Literally.
Just see what it looks like with the tire.
Yes, so we do have another Master Pro over here. I guess we have the magic of having 3 of them today.
So there is, this is the City Extra, the Michelin City Extra. This tire is much nicer.
One problem I had with this tire when I was riding my Monster V2 around is that it feels sort of like a knobby. Something I really don't like about the knobby tire that Begode's been shipping on their wheels for, what, over a year now? Come on, Begode. Is that when you turn on a knobby, it sort of feels like you're good, and then you just fall off to the side. It's a very rapid change, and it doesn't feel very good. With a street tire, you sort of have a continuous sort of, you know more what to expect. So even though this is sort of a dual-use tire, it's kind of mixed knobby and street with a center groove, it rides like a knobby, which is good for stability in a straight line, but the moment you want to take a turn, you'll notice some things feel a bit weird. All right, so we are pumped up, ready to go.
Let's go.
I want to ride it, so let's go. Wow, how does it feel to be floating? Ooh. All right, so we can't go too far outside just because the Wi-Fi.
I can get as far as right here.
Oh, you've done a test?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. So now I can ride more than 2 feet. So let's give it a shot.
Oh shit.
Brake pads feel okay. Acceleration pads are also okay. They do hurt a little bit though.
Oh. Zen Lee asks, what was the other tire? Melicin.
So the other tire is the Michelin City Extra. It's the newest offering from Michelin after the City Pro. I think there was something in between, but the City Pro is actually getting discontinued. So the City Extra is going to be the new kid on the block.
City Street, I think.
Good thing we have a mic.
Nope, that's not happening.
Why don't you try coming up the curb?
Alright.
Well, I'm gonna. Yeah, and then I'll back up the camera as you do it.
Alright, straight leg,
Bonk.
Oh.
like nothing.
Hello?
Just
Yep.
like on the Master.
Yep.
You could bonk
My
it.
favorite
That's not
part
even a
about
No,
bonk.
it's not even bonk. It just eats the curb.
Wow, this is a lot.
What is that noise?
Yeah, what's that sound?
It doesn't feel unmanageable though.
I don't know. I have to look at it.
Acceleration, brake time. Alright, go. And stop. Oh, okay. This is a lot of weight.
What's this? Don't worry about it.
Alright. Let's try out seated riding. I'm a big seated rider, so let's try that. I feel like it's gonna feel very nice. This is a great height for seated riding. Wow. Okay. Yeah, the turning is still weird.
It's every time he turns.
Yeah, it
Little dip in turns, just like you can see on the Master. But yeah, I do feel very high up off the ground. This is only the middle height setting. The only thing I'd be afraid of by lowering is that lowering it is making it too stable. This already feels extremely stable right now. I think I could probably rock this setting at speed. But I'm worried about putting it too low because then I might not even be able to turn at all. There might just be so much gyro it wants to just rail me forward.
Zen asked another question.
Yeah.
He says, so is the Michelin City Extra the better tire? Turns better?
I'd say there's nowhere to go but up with these stock tires recently. You know, I think I might be giving this tire too much flack. It's a fine tire. It just has a bit weird turning behavior. But yeah, all the Michelin tires have been great. Yeah, not too much I can say about that one other than I like it. Alright, I think we might be coming to a close here. If there's any questions you have or anything you'd like me to check on the wheel, let me know. We can also respond on social media later if you'd like. Just leave a comment under the post announcing this live right here and we will take a look. Alright, so any questions before we wrap up here? I'll just wait a little bit. Sitting very comfortably on this tall wheel, being suspended from the ground. Feels very nice.
Zen says, can we see the difference in turning between the two Master?
Sorry, I can't hear you too well.
He wants to see how that one turns, but
I don't know if you'll be able to see much of a difference. in the
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of something you have
It's
to
you have to feel, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't really translate well through the camera.
And then Mike says, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining. We'll be wrapping it up here pretty soon. So yeah, thanks for coming. I'll probably stick around for a few more minutes just to answer any last minute questions that you might have. But yeah, this has been the unboxing test of the Master Pro. If you want one, go to EUCO.us, go to the catalog, and look for Master Pro. We don't sell it planes. That would be cool, but unfortunately not.
Someone said, oh, Pink Flash says, better seated rider than the Master.
You know, I'm gonna say in a straight line, probably, just because it's really stable and comfortable. Not so sure about seated turning at speed. Seated turning is probably gonna be fine at lower speeds, like below 30 miles an hour. But once you get up there into the 40s, into the 50s, it's probably going to be a bit more of a chore to turn seated, especially at the low or middle pedal height setting. Geez, I guess if you want the best turning experience, be like Adam from Wrong Way and just use the highest setting he does on his Master Pro. He's, you know, I'm not going to say he's crazy because he seems to be riding the heck out of that wheel. He's really enjoying it, so good for him.
Zen says sweet unboxing, and then Farside Adventure says y'all have a great weekend.
All right, well, I think that's a good place to end at. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I always love answering your questions, and I sure as heck love unboxing these wheels. So if you liked this, you know what to do. If you didn't like it, you can also let us know. If you want to leave a comment, ask some more questions, you can do that. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I've been Nick with EUCO, and you guys have a good one.
We're out.
We're good.
Oh, what the hell was that sound? That scraping sound.